Welcome into the show, everybody. It is me, Ian Fritts. We have the Week 7 recap show for college football. A lot went down yesterday. Hopefully, you're following me on YouTube as well. Subscribe down below, but also on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram because I put out daily videos there. And we had one yesterday, Saturday morning, talking about just some weird feelings I had about the day. And we'll insert that clip here. I've got a weird feeling about today, a weird feeling about this Saturday of college football, folks. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. We've got Missouri, Alabama here in a couple hours. What a great way to start the morning. Then we got Oregon, Indiana, OU, Texas, Red River rivalry. I think we're going to see some really weird things in these football games today, ladies and gentlemen. I think today, what is it, October 11th? I think this is going to be the weirdest Saturday of the season so far, and it may be the weirdest Saturday of the entire year. I think we're going to see a lot of odd things happen today. Maybe 5 or 6 upsets that we weren't expecting. I don't know. Is Texas going to beat OU? I picked them to beat OU. Is Missouri going to beat Alabama? I don't know. They have the running game to do it. Is Auburn going to beat Georgia? Weird things happen in Jordan-Hare, but is that their best defense? I don't know. Going to be a weird day. Let's have some fun. Boy, was I right there. Yesterday, I said it. You heard me. You heard me. That was me before all of the college football. This wasn't after. This is before all the college football was played. I said this is going to be a really weird day. Something weird. A lot of weird things are going to go down. You heard me say it. And boy, oh boy, did a lot of weird things go down. We're just going to start with the 11 a.m. games here, folks. Bama and Missouri. They go down to the last play. Bo Cabrera has to throw an interception to just a ghost town over there where there were no wide receivers near anybody on the last play of the game. Oklahoma State and Houston. Houston blew out Oklahoma State. That's not the weird part. The weird part was just started with one guy in the stands. There were about 12 people there. One guy just took his shirt off, started swinging it around, and throughout the course of the game, it turned into 3 sections of just shirtless dudes swinging around their shirts at the Oklahoma State-Houston game. Weird stuff. Next, Penn Pitt. They go to Florida State, number 25 Florida State, and they beat Florida State by 10 points as 11.5-point underdogs. We picked Pitt to win that game, so yay us, Ian Fritz Show. UCLA dominated Michigan State on the road. They seemingly have maybe one of the best offenses in all of the country in the past 2 weeks. It's absolutely mind-boggling. That was weird. Didn't expect them to dominate like they did. They continue to show good stuff on offense. Then Ole Miss was in a dogfight with Wazoo, not a very good Washington State football team, mind you. Not bad, but not very good. And Ole Miss, so far through the season, has looked pretty good, especially offensively, and they couldn't get anything going yesterday. Only 24 points in that one. And then lastly, in the morning games, Iowa State went up to Colorado and lost. Not super shocking. That was just the morning games. That could have been an entire day of college football. That was just the morning games. Okay, let's move to the afternoon because this was maybe the oddest afternoon in college football history, folks. Indiana goes on the road and kind of handles Oregon for the entirety of that football game. Scores a little deceiving. They won by 10. Really felt like they won more closer to 20 that entire football game. Then one game that was not close at all was Texas, Oklahoma. Texas dominated the Sooners for the entirety of that second half, and we picked Texas to win that football game as well. Not crazy stuff happening at the Infra Show. We see the football, and we know what's going to happen because we watch all of the games. That's why you need to be tapped in on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and as well as the YouTube channel. We have a great pulse on college football right now here at the Ian Fritz Show. Next up, we had Northwestern. Northwestern handed Penn State their third straight loss, and you wouldn't believe it. About 20 minutes prior to this, Penn State has now fired James Franklin. This is a team that people, delusional people I might add, were picking to win the national title. The national title. That's the team that I just mentioned fired their head coach 6 games into the season. They're 3-3 with losses to Oregon in double overtime. Game wasn't as close as that. To Oregon in double overtime. To UCLA, didn't lead in that one at all. That was an 0-4 UCLA team. And then they lose at home to Northwestern. They, I believe, are the first team in history to lose back-to-back games in which they were favored by 20-plus points. And now they will pay James Franklin about $80 million over the next however many years James Franklin is alive. So good for James Franklin. Credit to you. You have maybe the best job in all of the country now. You get to sit at home, do what you do, and you just get a check in the mail every once in a while, a pretty hefty one. So that happened yesterday. And then also in the afternoon slate, Tennessee and Arkansas, they were in an absolute dogfight coming down to the last play of the game there. Tennessee snuck it out, 3-point win there. And you're thinking, oh, wow, what a day of college football. That must have been everything. No, that wasn't everything. That was not everything, okay? The night game, Texas A&M, they dominated Florida for the entirety of that football game. A lot of people, including myself, this is one where we were wrong. And here at the Ian Fritts Show, we are not shy in saying when we are wrong because everybody's wrong. Everybody's wrong. In college football, especially nowadays, it's hard to get the exact right pulse on things. We thought Florida would cover, Texas A&M would win. Texas A&M said, Ian, you're wrong on this one, buddy. Okay, we're going to dominate this Florida Gator football team. And they did. Iowa, you're thinking, Iowa, what'd they do? What'd Iowa do? They scored 37 points. That wasn't on my bingo card. No. Weird stuff in college football in week 7. Next one up. USC, they manhandled Michigan. Dominant. I mean, this game wasn't close from start to finish. Jade Maiva, Lincoln Riley, that offense is humming, just humming. And the defense looks pretty good as well. Georgia versus Auburn. Some people watched that game. Very hard to watch because the last 2 minutes of that first half ended up taking about an hour total of a real life time. The referees in that game need to probably, I don't know what it is with Auburn and these referees they get in their football games, but those refs might as well. I haven't checked to see if it's the same refs for the Oklahoma game or not. But those refs in that Auburn game, they should probably be fired. That was a wild football game, a tale of two halves. If you could pinpoint a single play in one game and the exact opposite things happen before and after that single play, that is a wild football game. That's exactly what happened in that Georgia-Auburn game. We're not breaking it down. So Jackson Arnold fumbled on the goal line. Not a fumble. Was a touchdown. Insanity. Auburn had, I think, 230 yards prior to that fumble. I believe they had about 50 yards after that fumble. Georgia had 20 yards prior to the fumble, and I think they had about 280 yards after the fumble. That's insanity. Just weird stuff. And you're thinking, that's got to be it. That has to be the last thing that happened. No. Arizona and BYU, they went to double overtime. You're thinking, whoa, double overtime. Arizona must be a pretty good football team. No. That's just what you get. Pac-12, Big 12. Big 12 after dark is what we're calling it now. Just insane things in the college football world in week 7. And we said it was going to happen. We said it last week in the preview show. We said, watch out for this week of college football. And then I woke up on Saturday morning and said, it's going to be even weirder than I thought. And all of those things I just mentioned made up for a really weird day of college football. That's just incentive to go follow on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, as well as subscribe here because those videos are posted on the YouTube channel as well. Now, we will get into the game recaps, the muffins, the what if poll, and then a new thing just for this week, title contenders. I think there are 7 definitive title contenders in college football right now. Okay, so the game recaps. We've got OU Texas coming your way. We've got Oregon, Indiana coming your way. And we got Bama, Missouri coming your way. Muffins, if you're new here, I give out maybe the most prestigious award in all of college football each and every week. It's our certified stud muffin to one single player, team, coach, maybe officials, maybe fan base, maybe even a state in a big time football game with a big time performance. The what if poll. It's my top 25, maybe the most accurate top 25 in all of college football. We rank based on what has happened on the football fields, not what's going to happen in the future. And then the title contenders. Again, 7 title contenders in college football. One of those 7 teams will win the Natty this year. We're jumping right in. No other place that we could start other than number 6, Oklahoma, losing to the unranked Texas Longhorns 23-6. Now, we being me here at the Ian Fritts Show, we picked it last week. We said Texas is going to win this game against Oklahoma. Everybody needs to watch out. This is one of those games. We're going into it. You don't feel like it's going to happen. They're logically, statistically, how these teams have played through the first 5-6 weeks of the season, it made no sense for Texas to win. They would have to flip all of the statistical categories that they were really bad in and be good in those against Oklahoma to win this football game. And you're thinking, that can't happen. No. In college football, that happens occasionally, and we got that exact result yesterday. We thought we would get it, and we got it. We always talk about the winning team here first, folks. We're going to talk about Texas, but I do have a lot to say about Oklahoma. If you know my ties to that program, we will rip into them today. Okay, let's talk about Texas offensively first, and then we'll flip over to the defense. The number one thing I was watching for Texas coming into this football game, if you do not watch the preview shows, which you should because it gives you something to watch for in those games on Saturday when you're sitting on the couch and you're thinking, hey, you point out something to your buddy and you're like, whoa, where'd you find that out? Oh, boom, the Ian Fritts show. We give you stuff and you tell your friends and you look really good. That's what you need to do. The offensive line for Texas. Everybody was like, Arch Manning bad, Arch Manning bad, Arch Manning bad, Arch Manning bad, Arch Manning bad. No. It had been the offensive line. Arch Manning had been great, but he was not the biggest issue. It was the offensive line. And we said, they're going to have to magically get better to go up against this OU defensive line that had been wreaking havoc against every team they had played. And sure enough, folks, this Texas offensive line, it may not have been the prettiest. It may not have been the most well-rounded group of guys up there that Texas has ever had. But boy, oh boy, did they somehow figure some things out up front. Okay, they had given up a lot of pressures and a lot of sacks coming into this football game against Oklahoma. And if you know OU, they get after the quarterback, led the nation in sacks coming into the game. And you're thinking, oh, baby, OU probably had 5-6 sacks in this game. OU had one sack in this entire football game. And the very next play, Texas had a little swing pass, missed a tackle, gained 40 yards. Not great for OU. Not great. The next thing, Texas had not been able to run the ball with their running backs. Okay, they had been abysmal. I believe they were averaging about 2 yards per carry with their running backs coming into this football game. Against Florida, I think they had 12 yards for running back rushing yards against Florida. Arch Manning had been their leading rusher coming into this game for Texas. A guy named Quintravion Wisner, number 5 for Texas. He had 96 rushing yards, I believe. Texas running backs had 27 carries, 107 yards total, 3.9 a carry there. It's not great. That's not a great statistical anomaly there, 3.9 per carry. But for Texas coming into the game, it's magical to have 3.9 a carry if you're a Texas Longhorn fan. You thought you were going to get maybe 2 yards per carry, which you had been all year. And then to double that, you double your production in per carry. That is a flipping of what your team had been coming in. And we said the O-line's going to have to protect well. They're going to have to run block well. And they did those things yesterday. They flipped what they had been through the first 6 weeks of the season. It was fascinating to watch. I'm not sure how they did it, but they did it. Okay, that's all that matters. You watched that game and you thought, oh man, this offensive line has not been the offensive line that has played the first 6 weeks of the season. And they figured it out yesterday against a really good, some would say, elite defense of the Oklahoma Sooners. Okay, next up, positive for the Texas offense was they did those things against an elite OU defense. Okay, we said coming in, this OU defense is elite. They get after the quarterback. They're top 2 in virtually every statistical category. How is Texas going to get the ball going on them? Okay, look, first half was not bad. That's exactly the game we thought we were going to get, 6-3, and then in the second half, Texas came out and punched OU in the mouth. Okay, the third quarter, time of possession. Texas held the ball for 13 minutes and 30 seconds. 13 minutes and 30 seconds. They got the ball 2 times, and they had it for the entire quarter, basically. They ran, I believe, 27 plays. OU ran 5 plays in that third quarter. That was the flipping. That was the Texas team that we hadn't seen all year. And they figured it out, and they took it to this Oklahoma defense. Extremely encouraging if you're a Texas fan, especially for that offense that you had been hoping for to get it going, and to get it going against that Oklahoma defense. Scary things ahead if you're playing the Texas Longhorn going forward. They were outcoached, OU was. Texas outcoached them. Texas out-prepared them, and then they flat out played them. Okay, if you do all those things, you get outcoached, you get out-prepared, you get outplayed. It's going to be a hard time to lose that football game, and credit to Texas offensively. Great game plan. Their players made plays, and they got the ball to their skill guys in efficient, effective ways. And Arch Manning, he had a really, really good football game. Credit to the young man for silencing the haters. We were not a hater, but he silenced them yesterday. Okay, flipping over to the defensive side of the football, some things that we saw there. My biggest question for Texas coming into the game defensively was the defense going to be enough for them to win the football game? And sure enough, you look at that final score, you give up 6 points. That should be enough to win virtually every single football game, folks. They answered the question, yes, yeah, it was enough. It was enough. And it wasn't just enough, like they were overwhelming this Oklahoma football team. Okay, the offensive line from OU, we'll get to them in a second. The defensive line manhandled that offensive line from Oklahoma. It was bad. There were a couple times where OU had some guys open. Mateer, we'll get to him in a second, but Texas did a good job recovering, getting into position, and then catching the football when John Mateer threw it to them. The Texas defensive line, 5 sacks, 7 tackles for loss. They had only 2 plays of 20-plus yards given up, and I believe on both of those there were penalties by Texas, so it was a free play for Oklahoma. The longest run in this game for Oklahoma was 11 yards. This is just a suffocating performance from the Texas defense. They absolutely swallowed Oklahoma, and spit them out, chewed them up. They own Oklahoma the past 4 years in the Red River rivalry. They haven't allowed a touchdown in 3 of the last 4 years. I don't know what it is. Pete Kwiatkowski, I believe, defense coordinator there in Austin. He owns OU right now. He owns them. Credit to Texas. Credit to Texas and us for thinking Texas was going to be able to do this and get it done. Oklahoma, okay. Oh, baby, where do we start here? For those of you that don't know, I am an Oklahoma fan, okay? Disaster, catastrophe, whatever you want to say about what yesterday was for OU, you can't say enough words about how bad that performance was, particularly with about 2 minutes left in the first half, all the way through the second half. It was bad. It was really, really bad. I want to say, number one, what we knew was the defense was elite. I'm not sure we're there. Okay, we jumped the gun. Boop. Hey, hand up. I jumped the gun. They're not elite. They're really good. They only gave up 16 points. 27 of those points were a punt return touchdown, which, again, blocking the backs. SEC is going to announce that. Shouldn't have happened. It's okay. Not why OU lost the football game. Only 16 points given up. That should be good enough to win the football game. So we're gonna get away from the defense. They missed a bunch of tackles. It was not a good performance. They were late getting calls out to the defense on several possessions, several plays in a row. Defense is standing up, looking to the sideline. Oh, boom! Here comes Texas right at us. Clearly unprepared. The defense played good enough to win the football game regardless. Let's flip over to the serious issues on the offensive side of the football that this Oklahoma team has, and it feels like we're watching the same team last year, maybe just with a better defense that Oklahoma has and a better quarterback, obviously. But the issues are the exact same, okay? Number one, biggest issue, OU is inept at running the football. They cannot do it. They have tried and tried and tried and tried and tried and tried, and they cannot do it. They had 1.5 yards per carry yesterday. That's this many, and then a little guy, and then a little finger. 1.5. 1.5 is about as bad as you could possibly get. You could do a quarterback sneak every play and probably average more yards on the ground than 1.5. Okay, you just get material. Hey, dive forward. You could dive further than 1.5 yards. Okay, they should probably just do that every play, and they would average more yards of rushing. Look at that next to me. 30 rushes for 48 yards. That's horrendously bad, ladies and gentlemen. Horrendously bad. They did this last year. They're doing it again this year, and they're actually regressing. They are getting worse at running the football. Worse. And if you take out quarterback rush yards for the entire season, I believe for the entire season with quarterback rush yards in the fold, they are averaging, I think, 2.3 yards per carry. I could be a little off on that, but it's less than 2.5 yards per carry for the entire season against FBS opponents. So Michigan, Auburn, Texas, less than 2.5 yards per carry. And I believe if you take out the quarterback yards and John Mateer and Michael Hawkins, you would get roughly 1.7 yards per carry by the running backs. This is a consistent thing for OU right now. It is consistently bad. The running backs, I think Torrey Blaylock's a nice player. Let's go through him. True freshman. He's your best running back. Last year, who was their best running back? Xavier Robinson. True freshman. Okay, how is it, and maybe they're just uber talented. I don't think so. They weren't the highest rated guys in their class. Xavier Robinson was a 3-star guy. These are not the highly touted, highly recruited guys that should be getting all the reps as a true freshman. They're not 5-stars coming in ready to play. Okay, they're not. And they've shown somehow to be the best player at that position group 2 years in a row. And the players that leave this DeMarco Murray coached running back room seemingly end up being a good running back. Okay, you got Hollywood Smothers over there at NC State. I believe he is second in the country in rushing yards through 6 weeks of the season. Oh, man. OU had that guy in the running back room 2 years ago. He was in the running back room. He was a freshman. He said, I'm out. And OU said, okay, all right, here you go. You can leave. Gavin Sawchuk, running back for Florida State right now. He is one of the highest graded running backs in all of college football right now. He looks nimble. He looks quick. He has good vision. He is playing good football for Florida State right now, regardless of what is happening to the Seminoles right now 3 weeks in a row. He's playing good football. So the guys that get away from DeMarco Murray are seemingly good running backs, and they are seemingly putting up better performances away from him. And somehow, the longer you're with him, the worse you get, because the freshmen are the best guys we got. Those are the guys that we're having to rely on. That should not be the case at a program like Oklahoma. The biggest issue, the offensive line. Somehow, some way, this group cannot block anybody. They couldn't run the ball against Illinois State. We thought, okay, well, that wasn't the starting five that we're going to have. Maybe let's give them some time. Give them some time. At some point, we're lunatics. We're crazy people for saying, let's give them some time. They'll figure it out. No. We couldn't run the ball. And I said that coming in. OU's not going to be able to run the football. It was worse than I thought. Some people said, well, maybe we'll figure it out against Texas. No. That's not going to happen. You couldn't run the ball against Kent State a week ago. You're not going to magically figure it out against Texas, who has been really good against the run all year. You're not going to just magically figure that out. It's not going to happen. That's not how things work. You don't magically get right unless you're Texas offensive line against this OU defense. You don't magically figure it out, especially this group. OU doesn't magically figure anything out. They got no skill guys that can make any good plays. John Mateer, he looked blind back there yesterday, and let's get right into that. Right behind, you can't run the football. They turn the ball over all the time, and they don't force turnovers. They force 2 turnovers all year long. They have been negative in the turnover margin. Okay, if you may have noticed, the video kind of ended abruptly there, and we had some corruption issues. The video during the export process got corrupted. So take 2 of the second half of this video hopefully is just as good as the first take, because it was thrilling, exhilarating, exceptional stuff. I'm picking up right where I left off. We were talking about turnovers for the OU football team. They turn the ball over all the time. They, in all of their games, again, except for one against Kent State, they were negative in the turnover margin. That's not good enough at a program like Oklahoma. That's not going to get it done. You cannot win football games, especially in the SEC. You cannot win football games when you are consistently turning the ball over more than the other team. You're not going to win football games like that. You are not going to win games. Oklahoma wants to win football games. It's just, John Mateer has got to be better taking care of the football than he has been in his first 6 games as an Oklahoma Sooner. It's not going to cut it. It's not going to get it done. It is not what you need if you are an Oklahoma fan. It's not good enough. And then the defense. You can't turn the ball over. How in the world does this defense, with how much pressure they get on the quarterback, with how good their coverage is on the back end, statistically speaking, they are the number 1 ranked coverage team in America. I believe about 73%. Whatever that percentage means, they're number 1 at it. And yet we cannot get interceptions. We cannot force fumbles. It is horrific to watch. And then John Mateer just gives them the ball at least 1 time per game. At this rate, John Mateer will lead. We'll have as many turnovers as Jackson Arnold had last year. It's that bad. The turnovers right behind running the ball is a big issue for OU this season. Number 3, this may be this may be number 1. Honestly, I probably should have put it in number 1. The Oklahoma head coach is a moron. He's an idiot. He is dumb. He is stupid. He's a moron. Absolute moron. We're going to jump right to the most moronic move he's ever made, and it was right at the end of the first half. Oklahoma gets the ball with 4 minutes left in the game. In the first half, excuse me, and they drive down the field a little bit, get to their own 45-yard line. 2-minute warning comes in, and you're thinking, okay, all right, let's put the pedal to the metal. Let's go score. You're up 6-3. Let's maybe get this thing extended to 9, possibly extend it to 10. 10-point lead, okay? And Oklahoma runs a couple plays. They get to Texas's, I believe, like 42-yard line with 35, 36 seconds left in the game. It's 3rd and 2. What does Oklahoma do? Boom, substitution. You're thinking, substitution? What are we doing? Why in the world would we substitute when we don't need to? Because all we need to get is 2 yards, and then you can run another play, possibly get a shorter kick for your field goal kicker, or maybe even try and take a shot at the end zone. No. We substitute. Texas substitutes late. It makes the clock run down, and you're thinking, what are we going to do? Okay, just let it run down to 3 seconds. Let it run down to 3 seconds. It's not the end of the world. Tate Sandell, he's got a monster leg. He could probably kick this field goal. We'll go into halftime with a 6-point lead. And what do? Oh, no. We'll take a timeout with 10 seconds left. Coaching, malpractice, everybody's saying it because it's the truth. That is the one mistake you cannot make in that moment. Do not take a timeout after you burn 30 seconds of clock. Do not do it. Do not do it. Do not do it. That should be number one thing on the whiteboard. Do not do this. Coaching rule number 1. Do not do this. Coaches make this mistake every year. Do not do. Do not do. What do? We do. We do that. You cannot do that. And we did it. And Brent Venables did it because he's a moron. He's done this for 4 straight years. He has no game management whatsoever going on in that noggin of his. It's just, that meme of the monkey clanging the cymbals together. That's what's going on in Brent Venables' head in game-changing moments when it comes to clock management and game management. It is horrendously bad. He's a moron. He needs to figure it out if he's going to be a head coach at Oklahoma. He needs to figure it out. Somebody needs to be in his ear saying, let it go down to 3 seconds, kick the field goal. Because worst case scenario, you turn the ball over. And what happened? We turned the ball over. And John Mateer's got to throw a better football because, unfortunately, Deion Burks was open about a second and a half before John Mateer even threw the football. Doesn't matter anyways. It was a wrong decision to even do that. Horrible stuff from the head coach. The fourth thing, and this also... the fourth biggest issue for Oklahoma, and this also goes to Brent Venables as a coach of this football team. The defense constantly, multiple times in every single game, and it happened in multiple plays, back-to-back plays in singular drives in this football game. The defense is getting the play call out late. So the defenders, defensive linemen especially, are standing up, looking to the sideline. What's the play call? What are we doing? What kind of fancy stunt are we running against this Texas offensive line that has not been good this year? Instead of, hey, line them up, let them go right at them, and we can beat these guys because we've been better than them all year. No. Brent Venables is thinking, wait a minute. Why don't we just try to get the best call in every single play instead of just line up and beat these dudes because we're better? No. You got to get the right play. Sure enough, Texas goes quick a bunch of times. We're standing there doing nothing while Texas is running it right at us, running plays while we're not ready for the play to happen. It created miscommunications. It created lapses in judgment. Secondary players what are we doing? What are we doing? What are you doing? They don't know. They don't even know the play because there's panicking. Oh, there's emotion while we're trying to get the play call in. You can't have that, Brent Venables. We've done it in all 4 years. That has been an issue. And you don't notice it when you're playing the Kent States and the Illinois States and the Temples of the world. But you do notice it when you play good football teams. And that's what happened yesterday. You played a good football team and you get burnt for trying to get the perfect play call in every single time. You can't do it. Get your guys set up, ready for the snap before the offense is ready to snap the ball. It's bad. OU's got to figure it out. A lot of issues. A lot needs to be worked on. Credit to Texas. Great game from them yesterday. Arch Manning balled out. Next game up, we have the Indiana Hoosiers at the Oregon Ducks. Number 7, Indiana, went to number 3, Oregon, and beat them 30-20. Wow. Incredible stuff. Great win for Kirk Cignetti and company there. The Hoosiers. Look, this score, 30-20, Yeah, 10 points is a lot of points. It could have been 20, and it probably should have been 20, other than a pick six that Oregon got late in the game to tie it up, coincidentally. But this score is a little misleading. Indiana controlled this game for the entirety of this game. They were the better team at every level of the game, at every phase of the game, and quite honestly, every position of the game. They had better players than Oregon did. That was Indiana. Let's get into Indiana. First thing I said coming into this game, again, if you don't watch the preview shows, you need to, because you can tell your buddy sitting on the couch over there, hey, look, watch this from this player and this team. This is what they like to do. Here's what they do best. And they'll be like, oh, man, how do you know that? It's like you exactly know. It's like you're a coach on this team. Well, because you watched the Ian Fritts show. Okay, Indiana, I said this defense is legit. They get after the quarterback. They cover well. They do all things at all phases, every single thing they do well. Okay, confirmed. Yeah, Indiana's defense legit. Okay, they forced Oregon to be 3 of 14 on third down. Exceptional. 267 total yards by the Oregon Ducks. That is the Oregon Ducks we're talking about. High-powered, high-potent caliber offense, skilled players everywhere that can do great things. 267 total yards. That's not on the road. That's in their own building. 267 total yards. Not a good situation for an Oregon Duck. Held them to 80 rushing yards. Indiana held Oregon's offense to 13 points on 12 drives. If you can hold somebody to 1 point per drive, basically, that's an exceptional defense. That is a defense that is going to win you a lot of football games. That is a defense that you can rely on when Indiana's offense isn't firing on all cylinders. That is a defense that can win you a national championship. 13 points on 12 drives, that's awesome football from the Hoosier defense. They had the 2 interceptions, and then they got after Dante Moore. They had 6 sacks, 8 tackles for loss, hounded this Oregon offensive line, this Oregon offense as a whole. Just swarmed them, swallowed them, suffocated them, whatever S word you want to use. They did it to Oregon. Player to watch right there, or player to look at, to highlight, Aiden Fisher, number 4, linebacker for the Hoosiers. 13 tackles, 1.5 sacks. He was all over the field. He is playing as good a football as any player in the entire country. He flies over the field. Wherever the ball was, Aiden Fisher was there. Great college football player. Offensively for the Hoosiers, 2 stud wide receivers in Elijah Surratt and Omar Cooper Jr. Surratt had 8 catches for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns. Cooper had 7 catches for 60 yards there as well. It's hard for a secondary like Oregon to cover 2 stud wide receivers. It's hard enough to cover one that's going to be an NFL caliber guy like Surratt, and then you have another guy who's just sure-handed like Cooper on the other side. You can't just leave them one-on-one. We saw it with Ohio State last year and the amount of good wide receivers they have. It's hard to cover that many good wide receivers because they're going to get open and they're going to catch the ball when it comes their way. And Mendoza, credit to him, he can rely on those 2 guys. 15 of the 20 completions he had went to one of those 2 guys because they're his go-to guys, and they catch the ball and they make plays after the catch as well. And then Indiana, I said it coming into the game, they have 4 running backs that have over 200 yards coming into this game, but they have one in Hemby who they rely on, who just falls forward every single play. He's always getting yards no matter what. Oh, I'm in the backfield, minus 5-yard loss. No, 3-yard gain. That's a difference of 8 yards. That's a big play in a game like this. That is a big college football play. And Hemby is that guy. 19 carries, 70 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Really good game from him. He's fun to watch. He's an NFL caliber back. And just overall, Indiana was a more physical team. They were more well-rounded. They looked better at every level of this game. Offensive line, defensive line, quarterback, running back, wide receivers, cornerbacks, secondary, linebackers, whatever it was, they were the better unit, the better grouping of players at every single position. Credit to their kicker at the end of the first half. Bomb, back-to-back, looked like the exact same kick. Indiana, great football team. Oregon, defensively, we'll start there. The question coming into the game was, are they as good as the statistics say they are? Answer, no. No, they are not. Okay, and it was mainly the secondary. I said it coming into the game. I said they have not been tested in the passing game. They have not been tested down the field vertically. They have not faced wide receivers like they're going to face in this game against Indiana and Surratt and Cooper Jr. They haven't faced bodies like that. They haven't faced players like that. And what do? We already talked about it with Indiana. They made plays. They made Oregon look a little silly at times on the back end. And look, they give up 30 points, 370 yards, and they got manhandled up front on the defensive line, the Oregon Ducks did. So not a great showing from the defense. And it really, it could have been worse because Oregon's cornerbacks, secondary players, they got away with some pretty questionable non-calls in the pass interference category there. So I think there were 3 or 4 that were just egregious that would have been big time plays for Indiana had those have been called. So Oregon got a little handsy. If you can get away with it, get away with it. All cornerbacks should be doing it. Oregon got away with it, got a little lucky there. Offensively for the Oregon Ducks, by far, again, we said this coming into the game, by far the best offense they will have faced up until, or by far the best defense they will have faced up until that point in the season. And the offense stalled out a little bit. They slowed down a little bit. They didn't look like the Oregon Ducks of weeks 1 through 5. They didn't look like the Oregon Ducks that Dan Lanning has always had, where they score 1,000,000 points and they have a quarterback that is firing on all cylinders. Boom, 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 boom. Let's talk about the offensive line. I said coming into the game, this is a stat I gave you. Oregon had protected the quarterback. They had the least sack percentage of any team in college football coming into the game. Okay, so percentage of dropbacks, they gave up the least amount of sacks in the percentage game. So they were protecting the quarterback really well. I said, is that going to hold up against this Indiana Hoosier defensive line? Is that going to be real, or is Dante Moore going to be on the ground, getting hit, picking himself up from the turf every single play? He did that a lot yesterday. Again, the 6 sacks, the offensive line was outmatched by that Indiana Hoosier defensive line. And Dante Moore, he looked confused. He did not know what was happening at times, especially on the 2 interceptions. He looked like a first-year starter out there, and I get it. He started at UCLA a couple of years ago, but this was the first real time where a defense had him confused, had him puzzled. And I did my top 10 quarterback rankings last week, and I got ridiculed. You would have thought I murdered somebody for not having Dante Moore in my top 10. And I said, hey, let me see him against a really good defense. That Penn State unit he's not as good as people thought, okay? Let me see him against a really good unit. And sure enough, really good unit. He looked a little wobbly, a little shaky. He can get there. He has the talent to get there, the tools to get there, but he needs to pick himself up after what happened yesterday. And then again, look, 30 rushing yards for Oregon for 81 yards. Not going to get it done. You can't run the ball for 2.7 yards per carry and expect to win football games. Not good enough. Credit to Indiana and Curt Cignetti, what he's done there. In year two, it doesn't take 3-4 years to get a program turned around. Curt Cignetti has done it in year 2 at Indiana, of all places. Credit to them. Great football team. Last game up, it is the Alabama Crimson Tide. They went up to Columbia, Missouri, and beat the number 14 Missouri Tigers 27-24. First off, this was a great college football game. Came down to the last play where Bo Pribula just decided to throw the ball into no man's land. He did that a couple of times yesterday. So he decided to throw that into no man's land. Questionable decision there. And then we had excavators visible on the sidelines in one end zone. Just cool scenes in a college football game. You don't get that in the NFL stadium, in the NFL world. Then we had controversial ejections for targeting. Targeting needs to be overhauled in college football. The safety for Missouri was making a play on the ball, on the player. He hit him right in the midsection, upper chest area, and they're like, get him out of here because he almost killed somebody. And he did. Was not targeting. And then we had great QB play from Ty Simpson over there. We'll talk about that in a second. Then we had some questionable QB play from Bo Pribula. And then we had an offensive lineman run the football, and we'll talk about that a little more here in a bit. Just a great college football game. Had pretty much everything you want. It was awesome. Let's talk about Alabama first. We talk about winners first here on the show. Ty Simpson. He is a star, okay? Some people were saying maybe he's a star in the making. Maybe he's not there yet. No. This is a absolute star in college football. Again, referencing the quarterback rankings that I released last week on the social medias, TikTok, Instagram, even here on the YouTube. If you go follow the YouTube shorts, we released that there as well. I believe Ty Simpson was second in my quarterback rankings, and he deserves to be there because the ball placement is elite. I believe it was the second touchdown that he threw. Could have been the first. It was the second touchdown over the middle. Wide receiver runs a little post. just stays in the pocket. Beautiful throw. Looks off the safety. Gets him to move a little bit. Opens up a little window. The window is not huge, but Ty Simpson fits it in there. He doesn't even need to fit it in there because he couldn't place the ball any better. Walk it down the field, put it there. Awesome, awesome stuff from Ty Simpson. And then late in the game, 4th and 9, I believe, you get this. Basically, the game is over. He throws a little corner route to a true freshman wide receiver. He has confidence that guy is going to be there, and he was. Boom, breadbasket right over the shoulders. Boom, 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 right there. He doesn't even have to move. Great stuff from Ty Simpson, and he continues to take care of the football. I believe he only has the 1 interception on the year. He's awesome. He is not giving the opposing teams extra possessions. He's taking them, and he's saying, no, this ball, this is ours. This is the Alabama offense's football. He's in total command of that offense. Great stuff from Ty Simpson. The running game for Alabama. They need Jam Miller, okay? And he went down at the middle of the 4th quarter, maybe possibly with concussion. It looked like he got knocked out. He got hit and then dropped the football and was laying on the sideline for a good period of time. So hopefully he's okay because this Alabama offense needs Jam Miller to have the running game, any semblance of a nice running game, okay? Without him, it looks a little disjointed. With him, because I think he is that good of a running back. He looks quick. He has power. He has vision. He looks awesome. So they need him back to have the running game to make it look good. Or, and this is the third thing I want to talk about with Alabama's offense, or you could just give the ball to Caden Proctor like they did on the goal line. That's a huge takeaway for Alabama. Give him the ball. He needs to have maybe 5 or 6 touches on offense each game. Throw him a little screen. Hand him a ball. Have him throw a football. They're not going to expect that. They're going to be like, oh, we got to tackle Caden Proctor, 6'7", 350-pounder coming right at us. We got to tackle him. They're going to come up and try to get him. Boom, pop it over the top. That's an 80-yard touchdown 10 out of 10 times. Look, I'm no offensive genius, but it would work. Okay, give Caden Proctor the ball more, Ryan Grubb. Give it to him more defensively for Alabama. Solid group, solid day for them. Look, the biggest question is the run defense gonna fix itself? They had been susceptible to run game all year. Okay, Vanderbilt ran the ball well on them. FSU in week 1 ran the ball well on them. Georgia in week 3, 4, whatever that was, ran the ball well on them. How were they going to respond? Okay, you look at Missouri right there, 28 rushes for 163 yards. It's not great. You would like that to be a little less, but for Missouri, who was one of the top 10 rushing offenses coming into college football, you will take that 10 out of 10 times. And to hold them to only 28 rush yards means your offense put you in a position to where you didn't have to play the run every single play like Missouri probably wanted you to. Missouri wanted to run this ball 50 times a game. They would want to do that, and they didn't have the chance to do that because of your offense. So that's a good thing. That is a good thing. Next up, they were great on 3rd down. Missouri was 1 for 10 on 3rd down. Credit Alabama defense for getting off the field when they needed to. Overall, good performance from the Alabama Crimson Tide. Overall, great win up there in Como. Missouri, the offense. If you would have told me prior to the game starting that Ahmad Hardy only had 12 carries in this game, I would have said that doesn't seem like enough. This is a guy. This is their best player on the entire football team. This is their best player. He needs to have the ball 20-plus times in the run game every single game. Okay? And they had success early on the ground, especially on the edge of the defense, getting to the edge and having nice explosive runs, especially on that first drive and maybe the 3rd or 4th drive, I believe. Missouri was able to hit some things in the run game early, and then they started to get away from it, I thought, a little bit. And maybe their coaching staff saw something that Alabama was adjusting to, and they said, hey, I think we can hit them up the middle with the interior run game. No, they were not able to do that. It did not look good after that. And then they started to get back to it later in the game, and it worked because that is where they are the best, on the edge of the defense, and you need to have Ahmad Hardy have the ball 20-plus times in the run game. Don't care if you're down 14 points. Give him the football in the run game. It needs to happen. Beau Pribula. He is either right or he is wrong, okay? There's no gray area with him. It's either a great throw or it's either, oh no. What was that, Beau? What was that? It's, oh no, Beau, or it's, wow, what a throw, Beau. Those are the two options with Beau Pribula right now, and that's not where you want to be with a quarterback. You do not want to be wowed or you do not want to be, oh no. Okay, you cannot have just these, boom, it's up or it's down. It's neither. Okay, all right, that's a nice play. No, It's either bad or really good from Beau Pribula, and that's not good. There were 6 or 7 throws, maybe even a little more, where he threw the ball and there was nobody there. And it's not like he was just throwing it away. No. He was expecting the guy to be there, or he threw it to the wrong spot and the wide receiver was supposed to was where he was supposed to be, and Beau missed him. It was bad. The communication looked off. It was really, really odd. He continues to be a weapon in the run game. They continue to not use that enough. I think again he had like 12 carries though, but that's not enough for me. Okay, you gotta weaponize that a little more if you're Missouri. Defensively for Missouri, look, it was a solid game. It wasn't exactly what you wanted. You got the one turnover. You would like to force a little more, but Alabama does a great job taking care of the football. And again, they lost their best player on defense, one of their best players on defense, to the targeting call I referenced earlier. So that's not ideal. But it was not a bad performance from Missouri's defense. Again, they give up 27 points, and you're thinking, Ian, not a bad. They give up 27 points. Is that good enough? Against Alabama, yeah, 27 points is going to be pretty good because that offense is legit from the Crimson Tide. The defense is still really good from Missouri. Would not worry about it at all. And in fact, a couple of the drives that Alabama sustained in the game were due to penalties on Missouri, like after the play penalties, unsportsmanlike conduct. I think they had a couple of those that extended Alabama's drive. So just not good discipline from them, but the defense is fine. They got a lot of good players on that defense. They had 4 sacks, 7 tackles for loss. It just wasn't enough. Offense wasn't good enough. So Missouri, a couple things to work on. Alabama, really, really good football team. Next up, muffins. Let me take a sip here before we dive into this. You're thinking, what's a muffin? Well, each week we give out Certified Stud Muffin Award, maybe the most prestigious award in all of college football each and every week, to a team, a player, a coach, maybe even an official, maybe a state, a stadium, a fan base. We give an award, Certified Stud Muffin, to one of those things. Big time performance in a big time game. Okay, and this week it goes to none other than Aiden Fisher, linebacker, number 4 for the Indiana Hoosiers. We referenced him earlier, 13 tackles, 1.5 sacks. I believe he had a tackle for loss in there. And then he was all over the field. Again, he is playing some of the best football in all of college football. In all of the nation, this is a guy that is up there with the best of the best. So here on the Ian Fritts Show, we have certified you as a stud muffin. Aiden Fisher, congratulations, sir. You deserve it. Congratulations to you, young man. Next up, my top 25, my week 8 what if poll. And again, this is not a power rating. So number 10 team in the country. That does not mean I think they are the 10th best team in the country. I just think they should be at number 10 based on what has happened on the field. What if we ranked based on what has happened on the football fields? That is what the what if poll is all about. At number 25, the Texas Longhorns. They make an appearance. I got to give them credit for the win. They looked awesome yesterday. Number 24, Cincinnati Bearcats, right in front of them. Nebraska Cornhuskers. They beat Cincinnati. You got to have them in front of Cincinnati, something the AP poll did not have. Number 22, Memphis Tigers in number 21. Those are the 2 G5 teams that I think are going to be competing for that G5 spot in the college football playoff. 2 really good football teams. At number 20, Utah Utes make an appearance. Really good football team. Only blemish is that shocking defeat to Texas Tech at home where they got walloped. Number 19, LSU Tigers. I continue to be low on them. The offense is abysmal. Defense is really good, though. Oklahoma at number 18. I consider dropping them even further, but I didn't. AP poll has them at number 14. That's way too high in the AP. Number 17, Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And again, you're going to say, Ian, they have 2 losses. Shouldn't be that high. I don't care. They deserve to be that high. USC coming in at number 16. USC and Notre Dame play this week. Interesting game. USC deserves to be there. They hammered Michigan. That game was not close from start to finish. Number 15, Oregon Ducks. I dropped them further than other people did because Oregon at number 15, the teams they have beat, the Power 4 teams they have beat, have a combined 2-14 record against other Power 4 opponents. They have not beaten a good team. The one good team they faced, Indiana, controlled that game, dominated them from start to finish. Tennessee at 14, Virginia at 13, Vandy at 12, BYU at 11. Those 4 teams, including number 10, Georgia Tech, all kind of, weave them in and out however you want, order those teams however you want. Do not really care that much with those 4 teams there. Missouri at number 9, didn't drop them at all from their Alabama loss. They deserve to be where they are. They're a really good football team, and they showed that against Alabama, who some think is the best team in the country right now. Georgia at 8. The only loss, again, at home, and they have that impressive win over Tennessee on the road. Alabama at number 7. I wanted to put them higher. I just couldn't because Ole Miss, right in front of them, is still undefeated, and I think I have to respect that this far into the season. Top 5, going to put them all up there. Miami at 1, Indiana 2, Ohio State 3, 4, Texas A&M, and then 5 is Texas Tech. Look, those need to be the 5 teams in the country right now. All undefeated, all dominating each and every game they play in. Those are the only teams in the country that are undefeated and dominating every single field they step on. Those are the best 5 teams in the country right now based on what they've done on the field. If you disagree with me, comment down below and I will get back to you. Okay, last up, my title contenders. There are 7 teams in the country right now that are title contenders. I'm going to pop them up on your screen in order of most likely to least likely in my mind. Ohio State at number 1. Makes sense. The defense is legit. Julian Sand is a top 3 quarterback in the country as well. They're awesome. Number 2, Miami Hurricanes. Carson Beck, top 3 quarterback in the country. Defense has seemingly figured it out. They're the 2 teams in the country that I think have NFL caliber guys at every single position. Yes, position. Those 2 teams, awesome. Alabama at number 3. They're starting to figure it out. Kalen DeBoer has this team firing on all cylinders. At number 4, the Indiana Hoosiers. I'm never, ever, ever, ever going to doubt Kirk Cignetti like some of those people out there. He is awesome. Revolutionized the Indiana program in 2 years. Is incredible. At number 5, Texas A&M. An insane stat. In SEC play over the last, I think, 3 weeks, Texas A&M against SEC opponents, their defense has held the opposing offenses to 3 out of 29 on third down, something ridiculous where it's 5%. Their SEC opponents are averaging 5% conversion rate on third downs right now. Insanity. And then you have Marcel Reed throwing bombs to Mario Craver every single play. It's unreal what the Aggies are doing right now. Texas Tech is the 6th title contender. They're a legit football team. Nobody's watching them. And then number 7, it's Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish. They have 2 losses, yes, but to Miami and Texas A&M by combined 4 points. They deserve to be on this list. That is the title contenders right now through week 7. Thank you so much for watching. If you wouldn't mind, subscribe down below, leave a comment, and I will get back to you. I love you guys. Bye.
Whoa, he has trouble with the snap, and the ball is free. It's picked up by Michigan State's Jalen Watts Jackson, and he scores on the last play of the game.
45-40, 45-50, 45.